appreciate it. What an exciting time to be alive and to build stuff. AI is definitely transforming the amount of opportunity in the world, and because of that, it's opened up a new way to turn capital into innovation. This is a gap that I really wanted to exist for me when I was young, which was the ability to have a career as a founder or a CEO. I was getting recruited for football, but no one was trying to recruit me for my brain. Why could I only go get paid minimum wage to work at Subway? And so that's the core of our investment thesis at Persist Ventures, which is a startup studio. So, the core of our deal that we offer, we do this in India, which $1,000 a month for a fresher is the top salary that someone gets, and then we give them 10 to 20% equity. We allow people to pitch their own ideas. Ideas come from me or other venture partners that want to create something new. And we host what we call startup-a-thons. So the gap, the schism that we're filling is, from a venture perspective, $1,000 a month to own 80% to 90% of the company is the sharkiest, worst deal ever for a founder. On the flip side, from the job market, people are competing. We have thousands of engineers compete with every startup-a-thon we do to win, to become the boss, to get a salary, to get equity, to work on something that they have ownership in, and it's been performing really amazing. We'll get into a lot of the wins here. So here is some of the founders out in India. I went out there, had them all congregate at a school which we're also inputting a 6-month, basically hackathon into the final semester for all people, create more deal flow. Because that's really what we are, is a talent innovation funnel. There's Corsi as well, GP for Eric Schmidt. So he came out, visited, they became an investor. And he's been monumental at getting some of the things that were launched, then some bigger, industry executives to tap into them. We'll get into one of the big wins there. So this idea originally for me, I realized would work so well when I saw the stats of Teal Fellowship. You don't know Teal Fellowship, they give $100K to young geniuses coming out of college, or in college, to actually drop out and build what they wanted. Ethereum came out of this, Figma came out of this, lots of big companies. The average value per hour, it was $80,000. It's now gone a lot up. So the ARB that I was confused about when I was young, why is no one offering me minimum wage to take 50% or 90% of anything? I wanted that so bad, and it didn't exist. I knew that's what I was going to do later in life. In high school, I was selling Bitcoin for PayPal, but it didn't exist. I then built a PayPal to Ethereum exchange. That's what I dropped out from. Sold another startup after that, and then started running this a year and a half ago. Jim O'Neill was the creator of Teal Fellowship with Peter Thiel, and now there's my Victorian, that platform. Now Jim was actually the person who brought me to Burning Man, where I first met Brock. And he's someone who helps review the applications and startups for this. So it went full circle. I didn't get accepted to Teal Fellowship actually, but now the actual creator and guy who operates it is helping Persist Ventures operate this new model. So obviously, we need a better model for innovation, for all of the low-hanging fruit that's getting opened up by AI's existence, all the disruption, Hollywood's going down. We need better tests, we need better methods for people to just get the opportunity. And that's our core method is, if you build it, then we bring you on as a CEO. And so we don't do interviews, we don't look at resumes, we put ideas out there. We test between thousands of developers. It allows us to find that 100x dev who actually ships a full app, often, a working MVP, and then we bring them on and put them through a startup college course. Much more capital efficient for this variety of reasons. And really, a lot of people have written about this lack of search for all that dark talent in the world. I was one of those people who I considered dark talent. Why was no one searching for me, giving me that opportunity? And so that's what we're filling in the gap of. So there's from Balaji. Balaji's a big exec from India. A16Z has written about it. You have 6 times as many people in STEM in India, 15 times less on average salary. Obviously, a lot of unicorn founders who have come over from India. They have a great work ethic. It's not like the people that sometimes I hire in the USA who are not just gritty and grinding and ready for the opportunity. People are like, wow, this is amazing. They have that energy of being the underdog. And there's far less venture capital out there. So all these is an arbitrage. We have all the Indian founders building US startups, Delaware C Corps, from India remotely. Some of them we're bringing over now that they've reached a certain stage. So fundamentally, some of the AI tools I'll get into here that we're using on these hiring platforms, we have agents, bots out there, which are sending messages to the databases of all of the recruiting platforms to get more and more people to go compete in our startup-a-thons. And then we've built some tools like auto form fillers that can fill out hundreds of forms from one set of the company data for pre-seed or seed for the founders and the portfolio companies under. It creates a cool ecosystem effect, something I wouldn't build for just a single company. It now makes sense to build for the portfolio to help all our founders get leverage. There we go. So one of the first ones that we pumped out is called Gift Studios. The founder of that is Arsh Khan and Harjo. Sometimes we select 2 from the batch. And this allows us to rank any GIF. Giphy is the biggest social media platform in the world to the top of any search term. It's SEO for Giphy for memes. Who controls the memes? Controls the universe. Gift Studios controls the memes. So we did it for Pudgy Penguins about a year ago. They're now at 29 billion views. Started for RFK. This was the RFK's team entire journey. The past year until we started a month ago with them and pushed them to 1 billion views in 1 month. Top when you search president, election, presidency, everything. For Pudgy, we started with putting them at the top of ETH, Bitcoin, every single crypto term, and all normal terms. And you've probably seen some of those penguins out there if you've been on any social media platform. That's why it's the biggest one in the world, is it connects all other ones. It's the GIF keyboard. Another one, and a cool thing that comes from this model, is the ability for someone else's idea. If you have an idea out there, love to work with you, that we put on our Startup-a-thon page. We've had over 200,000 developers compete, and they shipped an entire full app. This is an AI tattoo app that this influencer wanted. Love working with influencers, distribution first. And we make money, he paid, plus gave us equity. And we had the app fully shipped for $0 from our side, because the guy finished it in order to get the job opportunity, which just shows the power of really filling in that gap. We did turn that into then Deeksha was a hire that we had who we had turned this into a recruiting service. She's starting to do amazing of just getting founding engineers or engineers for different companies, since we have a surplus of developer talent. On this one, they're building a whole automated recruiting platform with now. Neighborhood, this was an idea from Christine Peterson, founder of Foresight Institute. It's an AI platform connecting communities, so you can just talk to the agent and say, I want to have coffee with someone in my neighborhood, and it makes those sort of seamless connections. Or I'm driving here every day, who can carpool? Better version of Nextdoor, because Nextdoor is just shitty. It's an engagement feed with all sad things. Workplate, this is a AI agent one that we actually took Adept AI, a unicorn company's demo, and ran the Startup-a-thon. It took a few different trials, like 15,000 developers, until one team built the same exact demo as this $1 billion company, replicated the software, It just got accepted into Jason Calacanis' Founder University. It's led by Mons Mahajan, genius developer. Actually, he submitted it to a hackathon as well and won the hackathon. He had seen it on our post and then built it at a hackathon. It just goes to show how quickly these new tools allow some of the young geniuses to actually ship an entire platform, ship a thing that adds a lot of utility. So this allows you to, on your browser, say, go on Zillow, find me a home with 4 bedrooms around this price, and it'll do the clicks automatically for you. I think we will view keyboards in the near future as a thing of the past. More of a Jarvis world is coming. The work on that of these AI agents that are very powerful. I love the fact that being involved with all these different frontier startups informs what to build next. So we realized it's going to be a race to zero on who's actually building the agents and filling in that layer. It's more being the top level funnel. So how do you be the top level app? And so then we had an app built called Overdrive. This one, we put 15,000 into it in 3 months and had an acquisition offer of $2 million at a $4 million valuation for 51% of the company, which we didn't end up taking because it was mainly stock, but that is a 250x in 3 months from a Silicon Valley startup that had fundraised a bunch, wasn't doing well, and was using Silicon Valley engineers being paid way more who didn't build the same platform basically. So that test to find the 100x engineer, which is a make or break for companies at the early stage, is just amazing. It's on the App Store. It's a QR code. Try it out and listen to your conversations. And you can just naturally speak. It's a better version of Siri. Obviously, Apple may get deeper integrated, but this is always on listening when you open the app. So it fills a gap that they won't fill. One interesting one that came out from, I did my first speech at the Strax conference and had an investor come in there and he said, what's your biggest idea that we're missing for the future? And obviously robotics is going to be the next biggest wave after AI. There's a surplus of intelligence coming. It's going to start manifesting in the physical world. And these humanoid robot companies, which were started pre-2022, which really were started thinking that it would be a decade from now that we would have robots have the underlying AI capability to be actionable in the world, to have a world model. And so even companies like Optimus, Figure, they're only planning on having 1,000 units next year. Next year is when a lot of prediction markets are predicting AGI. Next 2 years, the demand at that point will be 100 million households, given you can lease a robot. Ours is at a $350 a month cost because we went to minimum viable robot. So you don't need legs. Let's not reinvent the wheel. You just need a wheelbase, an arm, and a slide. So that's the brother of that original investor who we actually brought in. So this is a little bit different than our typical startup-a-thon model. But really, we're just an activation studio. Bring the right people together. He was at the US Department of Energy. Super amazing guy. The first robot's on its way to San Francisco right now. I think I can play a little video from the factory. It's called Open Droids. This is the R1D1, the predecessor. That's Ashish. There is R1D1. The first unit. So Court is in touch with Baskin Robbins. We're talking about a big pre-order for these. We're scooping ice cream in these shops. Super exciting, and the fact that we're using manufacturers in Shenzhen here is part of the win because a lot of these humanoid companies who are trying to verticalize, they're not going to be able to reach manufacturing scale. So this is, out of all the portfolio companies, definitely the one that has the biggest potential. I mean, I've been raising Persist, this head company, at a 20 mil valuation, and this one is doing a raise at 40 mil. So it's like, okay, well, obviously I need to raise Persist value cap. Now the portfolio company has outpaced us. Perfect. I did queue up a song. You can play it. This is an AI music app that we built. It's called Sound of Meme. There's the book of meme, of course, that didn't even have a book. So the Sound of Meme is much more fun. You can create songs on the fly, a couple minutes, any genre. This is the dashboard for it. So I just made this literally right before I came and presented. Just put in a short prompt. It's live on soundofmeme.com. You can just click AI Music Player, make a song for your friends, for your family. And for anyone who hasn't seen what AI music can do, it's insanely impressive. This is on the fly. And it's really fun to feed it genres, like you just do like folk, pop, rap, indie. You know, you just create an entirely new genre and see what it spits out. It's trained on all the music on SoundCloud and such. You can pause it. So this one actually got a very small acquisition, and to clone it, because they're like, we want our own platform that's not branded for crypto, although this will be the first AI crypto music platform. Blockchain Founders Fund is helping to ship that out. We just spoke at Bitcoin National and then brought them in recently. And very excited. Here's another really fun one that I like to show people. It's called Face Search AI. Has 12,000 monthly users, all organic. I actually had it built not as a startup originally, but I wanted to go to conferences and scan the room with a video. And it gave me a sheet of who's there and who I should talk to. And so another quick win that started paying off the founder's salary within the first month of just getting traction. It's as a Telegram bot right now and launching as an app. Really crazy tech. You can find video, like photos of yourself that you didn't know existed. I found one of my friend dodging the bull at the Run of the Bulls thing. He had only told stories about and people didn't believe him. And so there might be photos of you online that you didn't know. You're in the background. It finds people in stadiums. Very, very crazy technology. All that extra dev talent, we've then started signing on to ISA programs, which is a really interesting model. As a career accelerator, we have then AI agents who go and automate finding jobs for these people applying, and we take 15% for 2 years, only if we get them a job. And in the first 2 weeks, we had $2 million in contracts signed. If you have an average of $30,000 a year salary of what we get the people, and then since then, it's now up to 22.5. The actual collection process is still in development. That's the hardest part of this company, is getting people to actually pay, even once we've got them the job and they're on contract. Because people are like less willing to. So it's such a simple process to just ship all this stuff out that any cool new idea, we're just pushing through and finding amazing developers who build it. Are really, and then some of the tools we started making for the internal teams. YC has a co-founder search, so we made an automated plugin for them to automate their co-founder search, scans the profile, and will send messages automatically. Some of the founder tools. Actually, the first time, and how I got the Pudgy Penguins deal, and first met Ali, was I had a bot built that, here's my calendar, because this was the test, and we didn't set it up to restrict the amount of meetings it would give me. But I joined the ones that I thought would be the best. It's a really cool underlying method that makes this happen, but it's AI agents that are, just you can take a sales list and it just books calls directly on their calendar. So then we were like, oh, we need to build an AI meeting assistant to actually take these meetings. And so anyways, at the core, I consider us a lean, mean venture machine. And so we've burned a total of $500,000 doing all of this and created now $50 million in enterprise value that's realized more or less. And so next year, we're going to have a lot more going through. We've built our systems to be very scalable. We're starting a create-a-thon, because I think that's part of the future is AI makes it easier and easier to build all these apps. It's really distribution first that matters. Here's some of the awesome core team helping to make it happen. And here's where some of the people have been. That's in India, a bunch of the founders. We did a hackathon out there as well. Like $1,000 is like the biggest prize pool in hackathons in India. It's really crazy just how far the dollar goes out there. This is the Burla family, who Chris actually got me connected to. We might be putting a practical AI course into their network of schools with 200,000 students, which will help us get more potential people. Because really, it's like all the courses in universities need to really completely change. For developers, the tools are so new that it's every couple months that you would want to switch to your new IDE. Cursor and Replit, for anyone out there, are the newest, best ones. And yeah, we're going from 10x engineers to 10,000x, as Sam says. And that means people who focus on just finding the genius talent, and building the bridge, and giving them an opportunity with the right idea, I think it's the surplus of the value in this future. So that's how I see our big vision. Where are we going? It's really being a Y Combinator 2.0, or an Alphabet 2.0. We're thinking really big, which I am. And so, Prime for Scale, really looking to talk to other accelerators and incubators. I love the idea of kind of partnering up, being able to feed in a lot more of this quick system to, if you guys have ideas that you know are going to work and you just lack finding the right founder, well, let's just put it on the Startup-a-thon page. Let's make it happen. Or if you want to get directly with some of these genius CEOs who are just starting fresh for their seeds and help be a mentor and advisor to them, that's amazing. The Gift Studios one, for example, Court brought in the former CIO of Publicis, who's going to become the CEO of that. And so it's really amazing for me to be able to get a lot of these older industry connections that a lot of you guys have made throughout your lives and be able to feed it just a project which has tons of potential and get an executive who has all the right connections to make it as big as it can be. So thank you so much, and very appreciate the time.